Hi guys, welcome to Apple Meets Spain, and for today's video, we're going to discuss the 10 things you should know before moving to Spain. I'm going to put a disclaimer right here. This is just based on my observations and not on any scientific studies. The first thing that I'm going to discuss is the concept of siesta. Siesta in English is a nap, and I know that the Spanish people are famous for having siestas, but that is not true at all. I think in all cultures, in all of the nationalities all over the world, people do take naps, but it is not something that the Spanish people do in general. They go to work, they go to school, but not all of them have siestas in the afternoon. I know the Filipinos think that they got the concept of siestas from the Spanish, and probably it's true. The word itself, siesta, means a nap, but in the whole of Spain, they don't do siestas. The next thing that we're going to discuss, or the thing that you should know before moving to Spain, is taking note of the meal times. In my own experience, going to Spain for the first time, I was surprised when we had dinner quite late. This is because the Spanish eat very late. So not just with the dinner, also with the breakfast and the lunch, they eat quite late. For example, I know that they take breakfast usually around 10 or 11 and lunch around 3 or 4. And the dinner can last maybe around 9 or 10. So you will probably see some Spanish people eating at restaurants until 11 o'clock. So during my first stay or during my first trip to Spain, it was kind of different for me eating quite late during the dinner. I think it also has something to do with Filipinos having dinner quite early, like around 7 or 8. And sometimes, some people have it at 6 o'clock. And I don't know if it has something to do with the sunset. No, once it's kind of dark already outside, maybe it's time to have dinner. They also have snacks in between. So take note of that, even if you're just visiting Spain, that they eat quite late. The next thing that we will discuss is how Spanish people greet each other. So pandemic aside, the Spanish people greet each other with a double kiss, a double air kiss, in fact. So don't be surprised to see even men do the double air kiss. Personally, I'm not used to greeting people via air kisses. I just say hi like a wave, or even do the eyebrows. I think it's more of a Filipino thing. But here in Spain, if you know people or you get introduced to people, you usually do the double air kiss, one on each cheek. Even for men, they do it. The next thing that we are going to discuss is the store hours. This is quite important if you are planning to move to Spain. Please take note of the time a store opens and closes, and also of the holidays, because unlike in the Philippines or in Metro Manila in general, the stores don't essentially close. I think the stores or the malls only close during Holy Week, some days of the Holy Week, and maybe New Year's or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But here in Spain, especially in the area where I live in, the stores usually are closed during Sundays, and some of them close during lunchtime. So take note of the opening and closing hours of the essential stores, like the groceries or the shops that you frequent. The next thing that you should know before moving to Spain is the language barrier. In Spain, there are 4 official languages, and the one spoken throughout the country is Spanish. But English is not one of the 4 official languages. So as a Filipino, I can speak English and Filipino. So it was a bit hard for me to live in Spain without knowing any Spanish. The only good thing is that there are some similar words in Filipino and Spanish. So if you're planning to move to Spain or just visit, it will help you a lot if you know about the basic phrases. Another challenge for me moving to Spain is that I moved to the Andalusian region. And in Andalusia, they have a different accent than the rest of Spain. The next thing that one should consider before moving to Spain is the weather. Coming from a tropical country, where it is hot all year round. I only check the weather when there is a typhoon. I will show you now a glimpse of how the weather is like here in Spain. So this is from our trip to Marbella Hills. As you can see, there is fog, there's a little bit of sun, and there's also rain. This was on our first day, and now on our second day, it was sunny all throughout. Here in Spain, I usually check the weather so I will know how to dress appropriately when going out. Until now, I have to admit I haven't perfected or haven't figured out the best way to dress depending on the season. The next thing that one should consider before moving to Spain is the parking situation. This will be very important, especially if you're going to buy a car. If you don't have any garage, you can park in front of your house, but this is not a guarantee. I know in the Philippines, it is very common that you can park in front of your house, but here in Spain, it is a common courtesy that your neighbors will let you park in front of your house. If you don't want anybody to block your driveway, you have to get a special permit from the town or city hall in order that nobody parks in front of your house or your garage. Majority of the shopping centers have free open parking, but those who do not have, you can park on the street beside the shopping center. You can also try the pay parking, but please be aware that some of the parking buildings charge tremendously. Now I'm going to show you an area in my town which is near the beach. As you can see, there are plenty of street parking, but take note that this video was taken in December, and usually there are double the number of cars and people in the summertime. Also consider when you're going to very busy areas, you will have to park quite far, so please wear sensible shoes. Although cobblestones are not anymore the standard or the norm here in Spain, you will probably encounter them when you're going to historical sites like here in Cáceres. Okay, one thing you should consider before moving to Spain is that summers are usually busy. Tourism is one of the primary industries here in Spain, especially around Costa del Sol, where a lot of people lounge or just chill by the beach. All throughout Spain, there are tons of activities all throughout summer, and specifically in my area, they hold an annual air show where they showcase stunts and exhibitions from pilots. Also included in the activities are a music festival and a carnival or a feria just like this one. If you are not a fan of big crowds, try to avoid going to Spain during the summer season, because I can guarantee you that there will be a long line going to restaurants, going to beaches, or going even just to the museum. I would be remiss here of my duties if I don't discuss the concept of tapas. Tapa in Spanish means a lid or a cover. Historically, tapas are used to cover a glass of drink to prevent dust or insects from going in. Nowadays, when you order a drink from a restaurant, they will give you a plate of popcorn or even a slice of cheese or a little hamburger, and those things are called tapas. So according to tasteatlas.com, these are the most popular tapas in Spain. My favorites in particular are the patatas bravas and the croquetas. And finally, the 10th thing that you should know before moving to Spain is that you won't receive any gifts on Christmas. Yes, you won't receive any gifts on Christmas. Santa Claus does not leave gifts for the children. Although chimneys are very common here in Spain, Santa Claus doesn't come down from the chimney and leave the gifts for them. For the kids and the kids at heart like me, it is very sad to know that Santa Claus doesn't bring gifts anymore. But don't worry, because the three kings will give you gifts. Another thing that is different between living in Spain and living in the Philippines in terms of the gifts is that you need to open the gifts in front of other people. For me, it was very shy the first time that I was asked to open a gift in front of the people who gave it to me. But here in Spain, it is quite common that when somebody gives you a gift, you have to open it in front of them. So there you go. These are the 10 things that you should consider before moving to Spain. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. Again, have a good day and always stay safe.